Have you ever, in the quietest moment of the night, asked yourself a brutal question? Why does my life feel so much heavier than everyone else's? Look at yourself. You are not a bad person. You strive to do the right thing. You pray. You live with integrity even when no one is watching. And yet, why is your path steeper? Why are your battles fiercer? And why is your pain so deep that no one else seems to touch it? Let me tell you something. A truth that might make you shiver, but will also set you free. It is not your imagination. You are not overreacting. That feeling, like a target has been painted on your back, is real, because those who are chosen by God often carry storms that the world simply cannot understand. If you feel set apart, if you feel you are carrying an invisible burden, perhaps you have been marked. You have been crafted for something beyond the ordinary. But here is the painful paradox. Being chosen does not mean an easier life. In fact, it often means walking through valleys of shadow to test the very core of your soul. Trials that feel like punishment are, in truth, proof of your calling. These struggles do not come to break you. They come to remake you. They strip away illusions and force you to rely not on the applause of people, but on the steady approval of God alone. Maybe you have cried alone, wondering why suffering clings so tightly to you. Maybe friends have drifted away without reason. If so, hear this. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. And you are most certainly not alone. Across centuries, the chosen have walked this same narrow road. Every tear, every rejection, every loss was never wasted. It was shaping them into a masterpiece. Let us walk through the 5 pains that mark those chosen by God. When you understand them, your difficult journey will finally begin to make sense. 1. The pain of rejection. Rejection often comes without warning. One day people are by your side. The next, they are gone. You search your memory for mistakes, wondering, what did I do wrong? But often, you will find none. The truth is this: you haven't changed. Your light has. And that light unsettles those who live in the shadows. The chosen carry a frequency, a presence that convicts without a word. Just by existing, just by living uprightly, you challenge the lies others are trying to hide. Instead of facing themselves, they push you away. Even Jesus was not spared. His own family doubted him. His neighbors scoffed, "Isn't this just the carpenter's son?" If the Son of God endured rejection, do not be surprised when you experience it too. But understand the purpose. Rejection is not people being cruel. It is God protecting you. It is a filter. He sees what you cannot see. He knows who can handle the altitude of your destiny and who would only weigh you down. When God removes someone, it is not punishment. It is mercy. Do not chase those who left. Bless them, release them, and trust that God is clearing the crowded space around you to make room for those truly meant to walk with you. 2. The pain of loneliness. There is a loneliness that no crowd can cure. You can be in a room full of laughter and noise, yet feel a hollow ache in your chest. The chosen know this loneliness deeply, because it is not caused by the absence of people, but by the difference of spirit. You carry visions others cannot see. You hear whispers of eternity, while the world talks about the weekend. You think of legacy, while those around you think only of comfort. And when you try to share the fire burning inside you, you are met with blank stares or criticism. This hurts. You love people, but you cannot walk in their direction. They want to fit in. You are called to stand apart. But this loneliness is not an accident. It is purposeful. God often isolates the chosen so he can whisper to them without distraction. Moses was called in the desert. Elijah heard God not in the earthquake, but in the silence of a cave. It is in solitude that God downloads the vision others cannot understand. While the world sees absence, God sees preparation. Your loneliness is not a punishment, it is an incubator. Just as a seed must be buried alone in the dark before it breaks through to the light, you are being hidden for a season. 3. The pain of inner conflict. People think the chosen are always peaceful. That is a lie. Every chosen one faces a fierce battle inside, spirit versus flesh. You want to pray, but you feel drained. You vow to change, yet temptation waits at every corner. And then comes the guilt, whispering, if I truly loved God, why do I feel this way? I am a fraud. But even Paul, the great apostle, confessed, the good I want to do, I do not do. But the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. The truth is, chosen ones feel temptation more fiercely because the enemy knows your potential. He does not waste time on those who are no threat. If you are called to speak, he will attack your tongue. If you are called to lead, he will tempt you with pride. The absence of struggle is not always a sign of strength. Sometimes it is a sign of surrender. The fact that you are fighting, that you feel the conflict, proves the spirit is alive within you. Every fall is a chance to rise again, to lean on grace, and to walk with deeper humility. 4. The pain of renunciation. The chosen are called to let go, again and again. Sometimes it starts small, a habit, a place that no longer feels right. But over time, the cost grows higher. Friendships that once defined you now hold you back. Career paths that looked promising suddenly clash with your calling. Even blessings others celebrate may not belong to you. Abraham left his land. Moses gave up the palace. Each renunciation felt like a loss, like cutting away a part of themselves. But in the kingdom, subtraction is actually addition. It sounds wild, doesn't it? Every time you let go of something worldly, you create space. You cannot hold the hand of God if your hands are still clutching the toys of this world. Your tears of surrender today are the seeds of your future joy. 5. The pain of waiting, perhaps the hardest pain of all. The world races ahead while you feel stuck in slow motion. You pray, but heaven seems silent. You knock, and the doors remain shut. Joseph knew this pain, sitting in a prison cell while his dreams gathered dust. David knew it, anointed as king yet hiding in caves for years, hunted like an animal. Why? Why does God make those he loves wait the longest? Because waiting is not rejection. Waiting is preparation. The delay is the kiln that fires your character. It burns away impatience and ego, so you can handle the weight of the promise when it finally arrives. If you received the blessing before you were ready, it would crush you. Every unanswered prayer is stretching your trust. Every closed door is testing your obedience. And though it feels cruel, God's timing is never late. Now weave these pains together. Rejection, loneliness, inner conflict, renunciation, waiting. When you see the pattern, you realize you have not been abandoned. You are being calibrated. Rejection shifts your trust to Him. Loneliness sharpens your ear for His voice. Conflict keeps you humble. Renunciation frees your hands, and waiting builds your faith. Your journey is not easy, but it is sacred. While others chase comfort, you are being prepared for purpose. One day, all those tears will finally make sense. You will look back at the nights you spent weeping and realize they were seeds of a harvest. You will see that every no in your past was clearing the way for a greater yes. And when the promise finally arrives, you will say with unshakable certainty, "It was worth it." So if you feel different, if you feel misunderstood, if you feel the weight of invisible battles, remember this: you are chosen. And the chosen do not walk easy paths. They walk with purpose. Do not give up. Do not stop now. The best is yet to come.